Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. I'd like to make an update on my mental melt up situation. And again, once it's called a melt up because even though I'm running into turbulence in my life that could be causing a mental meltdown, things are going in the up direction. So it's a very unusual mental disturbance situation. Let's put it that way. But it's a melt up. Now today's the first day of September, so my melt up has gone into the third month. It looks like it really began in July during my time with. Uh, I had joined a board game meetup. Well, not joined, but I had started mingling with a girl at a board game meetup, and so I was disturbed by a few other things, and so I was trying to take my mind off of that. And I made some good moves on her. And another girl that I had known from a previous meetup joined me and gave me some more suggestions. So that was good. But something really interesting is happening to me right now. I'm being a lot more soft spoken and being able to strategize a lot more and not being as jumpy and having time to digest things. So this past week was marked by my looking for housing in Apache Junction, where I'm going to be moving to today. What had happened was I looked at three places. The first one was really flaky. I didn't even get to talk to them. I drove by their place, but every time I would call them, something would come up. They would forget to call back. And then the second place, I ran into some interesting drama. I got a little excited about the location of the place, and when I talked to the owner, she had went on a rave about how the last prospective roommate was hard of hearing, and so she couldn't understand him, and that became a problem because she didn't want there to be any misunderstanding at the home. Now I know that that's probably not the best reason, right? I mean, if there were other misunderstandings, sure, but the fact that she said the main reason was that he was hard of hearing should have given me concern. But I was so excited about that place, and you know what? I decided that it was okay for her to bend. I learned the hard way that if somebody's willing to break the rules for you, they're also willing to break them against you. And but I decided to go along with her. And long story short, it didn't go well either. What had happened was it's Labor Day weekend, and she's not very tech savvy. She wanted me to show her what I do for a living and all that, which is not a big deal. But I offered to show her on the computer, and she insisted she had to call somebody from my work. It's Labor Day weekend. She kind of made me look like a fool trying to call everybody while they're out on vacation. And long story short, my I think she only got a hold of my former boss at a different campus, and not surprisingly, he wasn't happy about answering the phone on vacation. They had a very unhappy conversation uh, for some reason because the prospective landlord was saying that she had mixed feelings about the conversation and all that. Well, yeah, you called somebody while they were away on Labor Day. And I should have taken the fact that she would complain about somebody being hard of hearing as a red flag. I sometimes forget when somebody's willing to break the rules for you, they're also willing to break them against you, right? So if you're dating somebody who's cheating on somebody else for you, they're willing to cheat on you as well, right? Or you get the idea, right? If your boss plays favorites for you, you can bet that sooner or later he's going to play favorites against you, right? I kind of ran into that before as well, right? And but you know what? Things were happening on such a slow pace that it didn't really bother me. I sent an email to apologize to my former boss about this. I got too attached to the apartment, and thank you for taking time to respond and hopefully find somebody better. And so that was good. And so it didn't spin out of control. I had a little bit more drama yesterday. Actually, I had gone back to the sports bar where I ran into drama a couple weeks ago over bringing outside food, and I still tip them even though I bring outside food in there. And you may remember 2 weeks ago I got into a little drama because the owner didn't understand that I had dietary differences. So yesterday I was there and I had brought because it's we got really hot weather. Brought a container of tea into the sports bar, and this time the owner wasn't upset anymore. It was actually one of the waitresses who asked if I could put the tea into one of their cups so that the management wouldn't see or something like that. But she brought over the cup. It was styrofoam, and I'd like to avoid those kind of chemicals. And so I thought about explaining to her that these chemicals, but I played along with it. I took the cup and then I went outside to finish the tea so that nobody would see it. And being in a peaceful state of mind where I'm trying to escape. The reason I've been so happy lately is because I'm trying to escape some dramas in my life. My ex-girlfriend is getting married. I had some other difficult situations in my social life. I'm having a hard time making connections here in the Phoenix area as well, and I'm just trying to get away from all of that. And if that means trying to strategize where I live or strategize these tricky situations, and I bet I made the waitress feel embarrassed about herself yesterday because she noticed that I had brought the tea outside. And what else is going on? I've just been trying to keep busy because I don't want to think about my ex girlfriend getting married. Now, I'm not mad at her or anything. I'm actually quite happy for her. I just cannot think about it. I don't know why. And it's causing me to do all these great things. And so that's why I call it a mental melt up, right? I just can't think of it. It's just kind of a sad conclusion. Not sad. It's just a conclusion that I wish had happened a different way. What had happened was I dated this girl. This was 8 years ago, if you could believe it. One day, she was still living with her parents at that time. One day, I was really late getting to their home because I was busy writing a computer game. The Computer Olympiad was coming up, and so she accused me of cheating on her. I was so upset at that remark. I raced out to go home, but I got lost on my way home. I was only supposed to drive 2 miles away. We both lived in Bellevue, Washington, but I ended up driving all the way to Ellensburg, if you could believe it. I was so lost in thought. And while I was in Ellensburg has pretty dark skies. I got to see the Milky Way, Jupiter, and Saturn. And I thought to myself, Jupiter and Saturn are going to come into conjunction in 2020. I thought to myself, when I meet somebody better, I'm going to take her here and propose to her in 2020, December 21st, 2020. And so 8 years later, she is now getting married. Uh, but anyways, so it's just I don't want to think about the closing of that chapter of my life. I'm happy for her, and so a few months ago, maybe subconsciously, I am unhappy because a few months ago I had a dream where I tried to kill her, and so it's just really weird. So I'm trying to distract my mind from all of that by making art, out of stuff that could be eventually made into stuff that could kill somebody, right? And get busying myself with networking, and so being the bigger person in a bad situation like I was yesterday. I'm really pleased at what I did yesterday. I'm really pleased about that. Obviously, the waitress probably doesn't know that I am against using styrofoam, right? And so maybe next time I'll thank her for the suggestion and apologize that I'd like to avoid styrofoam, but thank you for the suggestion, something like that. Uh, okay, please continue to pray for my continued melt up situation by leaving a dislike on this video. This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.